Okay, some of you may have known his name. His name is Swami Vivekananda. Who was Swami Vivekananda? So, on September 11th, 1893, the day goes back more than 150 years back. So, there was one World Parliament of Religion held in Chicago. Okay, you know Chicago? Chicago is in America. Correct? So, there all the spiritual leaders from different religions like Christianity, Mohammedans, Judaism, etc., were present at this stage. They were going to address the audience who were in numbers of thousands, to be precise, 7,000, expert in different fields from science, commerce, background, etc. There was one young person on this stage who was going to address the crowd. He was wearing a saffron suit and a turban, is pagdi in Hindi, and everyone was curious and looking at him. What is he going to speak today? Who is this guy? Who is this young person? What is he wearing? Where is he from? Everyone, he grabbed everyone's attention. His eyes were lit up, but from point of view from the young person sitting on the stage, he was very nervous. He was very afraid and conscious. He saw 7,000 crowd sitting in front of him, waiting to listen to him. Imagine you are standing on a stage and everyone in front of you looking at you and wanting to hear what you are going to say. He was quite nervous. So the organizer said, "Sir, your turn, your turn to address the crowd." He hesitated and said, "I want to go next." As a natural as it gets, every human being afraid of trying to speak, trying to go in front of the 7,000 crowd. This happened twice. And the third time, the organizer told the young person that, "Sir, if you don't speak now, you might not get the chance to speak at all." Listening to this, the young person closed his eyes, remembered his guru, said the guru mantra, and stood up in front of the mic. And the first three words that he utters is, "Sisters and brothers and of America." And the whole crowd erupts in joy, applauding, as if some god has spoken. Everyone waiting to hear. Who was this young man? Who was this man wearing saffron clothes and turban? What was something special about him that the crowd just applauded? His name was Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born on 12th of January, the same month, in 1863. So you can imagine 1863, the time where British ruled over India. Okay. As we know, Swami Vivekananda was the name Vivekananda was well known after Chicago. Before that, the name after the birth was Narendra. As you can see in this photo, the mother of young Narendra, her name was Bhuvaneshwar Devi, and in her laps is her son Narendra. Now, Narendra's father was Vishwanath Datta. He was very well renowned lawyer in Kolkata. So the birthplace of Narendra was Kolkata. He grew up in the family where he could see lot of people highly educated, also very from poor family background, came to Narendra's family, to his father, and asked their doubts, asked for help, etc. And he grew in this stage. He saw people coming to their home for help, seeking advices, etc. One such day is a very typical situation in Indian, I guess any family, where There were guests visiting Narendra's family, and one of the guests asked Narendra, "What do you wish to become in future?" As everyone asks, right? The guest asks us, "What do you wish to become? What do you want to become in future?" Now, surprisingly, Narendra answered, "So in early days, we all know we now have cars at our home, but in early days they had a ghoda gadi, like a buggy." So Narendra answered that, "I want to be the chalak, the driver of the buggy." Listening to this, the mother smiled and told him that if you want to be a charioteer like Shri Krishna, like Lord Krishna. As we all know, Lord Krishna was Margadarshak, who led Arjun, who told Arjun about dharma, karma, etc., and who led Arjun to the victory. Similarly, Narendra's mother told him, if you want to be a charioteer, be like Lord Krishna. You lead by example. You take our nation forward. And this incident was deeply rooted in Narendra's mind. And in search of that, how to serve my motherland, my country, he met his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans. Now, in his ashram, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans told him that your only life mission. He came to his guru Ramakrishna Paramhans and asked, "Why? Who am I? What is the purpose of my life?" Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans said, "Your only life mission is to serve the Bharatiya people, the poor and rich, to serve our great Indian citizens, and to tell the westernized world that India, the Sanatan Dharma, that we call the sacred Dharma, about the Dharma." And listening to this, he started what is called Bharat Parikrama. Means he started going across India from different villages to experience what is like, what is life, what is it like to live like a poor, how rich lives in India, what are the problems in India. He traveled across India from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, from northeast Assam, Arunachal to Gujarat, Rajasthan, and he found out that Indians, yeah. So there was one incident that I would like to narrate. While he was traveling, he was in Varanasi. He performed his puja and he walked past a river. After some time, a group of monkeys started following him and chasing him, trying to bite him. Narendra, the Swamiji, got afraid and started running away from the monkeys. As fast he ran, same speed, the faster the monkeys ran. One sadhu who was meditating, who was sitting alongside the road, he saw this incident and told Narendra, the Swamiji, the young man, don't run away from the monkeys. Turn around and face the monkeys." Listening to the words of Sadhu, the saint, he turned around and faced the monkeys and stood his ground. Suddenly, what happened? The monkeys started running away from Swamiji. He said, "This is where I've learned a very important lesson in my life, that never ever run away from difficulties or challenges. Face them, no matter how dangerous or hard they are. Always face them. Never ever run away from the responsibilities or from challenges, difficulties." Another a small incident that I would like to narrate. This is very typical. He was playing in his backyard with his friends. Narendra was playing with his friends in backyard, and there was a huge tree in the backyard. They used to play, swing on the trees, etc. And there was a small house besides the tree, the old man who used to live near the tree told these kids that do not play here, there is a ghost on the tree. Listening to this, everyone feared. There is a ghost on the tree, and we have been playing here for a while. Everyone started running away from the tree. But Narendra, he climbed the tree and sat on the tree patiently and said, if there is a ghost, I want to see him. Why don't I see the ghost? The evening passed. It was night time. It was dark outside. And two, three of friends came to him and said, Narendra, why are you sitting on the tree? The wise man told us that there is a ghost on the tree. Please get down. Narendra told the friends that if there would have been a ghost, we would have seen him earlier. Why would have been experienced? So another very important lesson from this incident that never trust anything blindfoldedly. Just because one tells you that there is a ghost, it doesn't mean there is a ghost. You experience it. So Swamiji from this incident tells everyone that don't believe until you see or you experience something. You have to personally experience something to believe in it. So why do we consider Swami Vivekananda the youth icon of India, or in general youth icon? So to narrate this, I have an interesting story. There's a story of few sheeps and a lion. So a very tired and ill lioness gave birth to a small baby cub in a flock of sheep. Now after the birth, the lioness died, but the young baby lion grew up with the sheeps in the same flock. He used to play with the sheep, he used to eat grass with the sheep, he used to sing the songs with the sheep. After few years, an elder lion from outside saw this incident. He saw that a young lion is playing with the sheeps. What is wrong with him? Why is he singing like sheeps? He decided to grab his attention and to call the young lion. But as the elder lion approached the small lion, the lion was afraid. He ran away, and he ran away in the flock of sheep. So one day, seeing this opportunity, an elderly lion decided that we should, I should tell the truth to this young baby lion. So he found the opportunity. He grabbed this lion who was in the flock of sheep. He took him to a pond nearby, and he told him, "Look in the water and tell me what do you see." The lion saw his own reflection in the water, and he was surprised. He said, "I look just like you. I am a lion." The lion said, "Exactly. You are a lion. Now repeat after me." And the elder lion roared loudly. But as soon as the small lion opened his mouth, he said, "Meh, meh," like the sheep. So the older lion, told him that you have grown up and you have been brought up in the pack of sheep. You are not a sheep. Realize, close your eyes, believe in yourself. And as the elder lion told him, he closed his eyes. He, he believed that I am a lion. He saw himself in the water, the reflection. He opened his eyes and roared loudly. And the roar was so loud that it shook the jungle. So, what is it? So, this speech was given by Swami Vivekananda in New York. He said that we are all like sheeps. We are lion in sheep's clothing in our habit. This is like Indian youth who are sheep, but they don't know that they are lion. And it is my duty to tell them that they are lion and they can do anything. He said, we are all hypnotized by the weakness of our surrounding. You know the hypnotize? Yeah. And then he said the Vedanta teaches a human being to dehypnotize, to throw away its weakness, to strengthen. And this speech was given by Swami Vivekananda in America, and he had, we know, he was world famous. So, what do we learn from this? That I am a lion. No one should tell you that you are a sheep, you are weak. For Swami Vivekananda, he said, weakness is death and strength is life. So build your body, just not just physically, but intellectually, spiritually. Meditate, concentrate. Okay? So before before I stop, I would like to show a small video which is very important, a 2-minute video, but which is very important and has played a huge role in Swami Vivekananda's life. Okay, so I'll just share the screen. Yes, can everyone see?
Yes.
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 So this video is called Bullseye. You know bullseye, when an archer or a shooter practice, there are circles, and the perfect middle point is called bullseye. Okay.
Give the rifle to me, Percy. It's my turn now.
You won't be able to do it either. Ah, this is boring.
Hey, Percy, look at that man over there. He's smiling at us.
Why, sir? You think you can do any better than us? Let me tell you, it ain't as easy as it looks.
I shall try.
You didn't mention that you were a professional shooter. Of course you've practiced shooting a lot.
My friend, I assure you that I have never handled a gun before. It is something else that I practice. Concentrating the mind.
See, so what was the moral of this small video? The Swami Vivekananda said, the difference between an ordinary man and a brilliant man is only the level of concentration. Yeah. So as we all know, we play, we study, we do so many activities, and nowadays we are used to do multiple activities at the same time, multitasking. But what Swamiji said, you cannot do a single task, you cannot do multiple tasks at same time. Either you are doing one task or you are doing no tasks. So the message was, when you're doing a particular activity, let's say you're playing football with your friends, then play with your 100% concentration with friends. Do not think about my remaining assignment. Do not think about a teacher's remarks or something else. Play with concentration. While studying, always study with full concentration. Do not think about playing football at that time. So when you do that activity, do with 100% focus. So this is how, as we saw in this video, this is how he achieved to hit all the targets in one go. How was it possible? He said himself that I practiced something else. He held the gun for the first time, but the level of concentration that he had uh, managed him to hit all the targets in one go. Okay? So from this, actually, it is honestly, it is very difficult to, uh, you know, what do you say, Swamiji, to speak about Swamiji on so many terms. There are so many inspiring stories, so many life messages, and so many uh, incidents that happened that could inspire us from daily life. But from point of view, one last story I would like to mention, that how was he as a youth leader and how was he as a visionary. So once he was traveling to America on a huge ship, and one elder man came to him and asked, uh, I want to start my own industry, but I want to set up this industry in Canada and not in India. Swamiji said, listened to all his arguments and said, no, no, no. You must always start your startup industry in India, and I will tell you. Swamiji opened the map and told the guy, the elder person, that this is where you can set up your industry. So the industry, uh, at this place, you will get the raw material, which is coal and iron ore. Can you guess the person who Swamiji was speaking to, who then went to India and started his own industry? Can you guess the
I
person?
think I know.
Tata.
Yeah, yeah.
J.R.D. Tata.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. Very good. So this is how he inspired a lot of people to start industry on their own and not outside India. So this is how he always connected himself to India and always thinking about his motherland and always of his fellow citizens. Okay, so with this, I would like to end my Baudik, a small narration. I hope everyone enjoyed and we learned a lot from this, and we will continue learn. If you are interested, you can read small books on Swami Vivekananda for kids. There are many books and very incident. Uh, yeah, I think Hari Pillai has some question to ask.
No, my name is Yejit.
Yeah,
And
sorry. Yeah.
my question was, why did actually the crowd immense enjoy when Swami Vivekananda
Mhm.
said, "Dear brothers
Sister.
and sisters"?
Correct. So very good question. Very good
The
question.
answer actually
Mhm.
that even though he's from another religion,
Perfect.
he took the strangers
Perfect.
as his brothers and sisters.
Perfect. That's the answer. You know the answer. Perfect. Brilliant. So the other religious leaders addressed everyone as ladies and gentlemen and whatnot. But when Swamiji spoke, sisters and brothers, when you say sister, you are my sister and brother, we have a direct contact. And this is how he influenced 7,000 crowd in just 3 words he spoke. The first 3 words he spoke. That is how. Perfect.
So Vasudeva Kudumbakam, right? So we say in
Perfect.
our
Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Yes, correct.
so, exactly. So I think Dhanyavad Meherji for your
Dhanyavad.
Baudik today. I think 20 minutes is really not enough, and
Correct.
you really shared a lot of inspirational stories and incidents. And yeah, so in the interest of time, I think
Yeah.
we'll have to now switch to other, and you can stay with us for